Someone asked me this week. Well, actually, it's a client that I'm currently working with, and like she's running a small business. She's got a new baby, another child, pretty big life drama happening at the moment. On top of all that, and she asked me, "Well, what do I do when the pressure of it all just makes me break? Like, how do I get out of flight or fight mode?" If you're a high performer juggling multiple responsibilities, maybe you're running a business while dealing with other personal chaos and just life in general. Maybe you're trying to just keep everything together when your life feels like it's literally falling apart. Maybe you're even breaking under the pressure, even though you've handled harder things than this before. Because when you're in that fight or flight mode, like when you're really in it, your conscious brain isn't running the show anymore. Logic just goes out the window. Your unconscious mind, more importantly, your nervous system is kicking in. So all that just breathe, just stay calm advice can be quite useless at times because you really need something that actually works when your nervous system gets completely hijacked. So I've been thinking about that question quite a lot. In the session with my client, naturally we did a lot of deep work and I tried to uncover what was really going on with her, and she had a really fantastic breakthrough. But of course, I can't do that for everyone right now, especially if you're watching this video. So I wanted to kind of go through what my answer would be for a question like that. And if you're asking that question right now, then I hope this serves you in some way. So my answer is, you don't really need to stop the pressure from making you break. You need to recognize when it's happening and then interrupt the pattern. What I mean by that is, it's about catching yourself earlier in the cycle, not at the end point or the breaking point, not after you've already broken. It's when you feel that pressure starting to build in the very beginning. Because in over a decade of coaching and working with leaders and entrepreneurs and former Olympic athletes, I've never seen anyone successfully power through that fight or flight mode, just push through and push through. The nervous system doesn't work like that, and you can't think your way out of that state by bypassing thinking. Every client who's mastered this didn't learn how to handle more pressure. They learned to recognize the pattern earlier on, before it gets to that point where there's no return, and choose a different response before the break happens, before it becomes an actual big problem. I recognize it in myself when I'm just going through my life and I'm not recognizing the pattern, whether it's days when maybe my wife is sick and I've got more responsibility, maybe things just aren't working out through the day, maybe the kids are driving me nuts or whatever it may be. But when I don't recognize that pattern early on, I notice that over the day, so we'll just put this in the context of a day. Over the day, that'll be the starting point, minor frustration, minor irritation, and then by the end of the day, all of these things compound. And next thing you know, I'm exhausted, I'm tired, I'm irritable, I'm short with people, and I'm feeling physically angry or upset because I never recognized the pattern in advance, when I could have cut that out, done something about it, and finished the day really strong and actually finished the day really feeling really good. With a topic like this, it's always important to talk about the nuances as well. So if you're someone who's dealing with a past trauma or PTSD, then this is clinical territory. This is where getting professional support, getting professional advice is more important than anything I'm saying right now. This answer is for people who are fundamentally okay, but overwhelmed and stressed. So if you're struggling with anything stronger than that, like if you fundamentally aren't okay, then seek help and get advice and go see someone that can help you through that. But if you are fundamentally okay and you are feeling overwhelmed or stressed, or that fight or flight is kicking in and you feel like the pressure's building, it is important to understand that sometimes the breaking can actually be a good thing. Or I should say, it's not always a bad thing, because this is your body's way of forcing you to stop in the moment. Sometimes the break is actually the breakthrough. It's your system saying that we can't keep doing this. And I've been in that situation before, when I've literally broken down in tears, when things just got too much. I wasn't catching the pattern, I wasn't working on myself, and it all came to the surface and literally broke down. And I actually was in therapy at the time, and I told my therapist about it, and she actually said, you know what, it sounded like you just needed that moment to actually break down so you could break through and understand what's really going on. And she was so right, because how I felt afterwards and the realization I had about myself was profound. And there's a few mistakes that people tend to make when they talk about the pressure building and avoiding the break of it all, because they try and build more capacity to handle more pressure, right? creating more space for more pressure. But you don't need more capacity. You need to better recognize and interrupt what's already happening. Or they shame themselves for breaking, thinking, I should be able to handle all this. What's wrong with me? I can handle this. I'm strong. I'm independent. That shame makes it so much worse because the break isn't weakness. It's actually information for you. You're adding more to your load by talking down to yourself about what you can and can't handle. I did the exact same thing during a few of my breakdowns over the years, where I was like, I felt guilty or ashamed. I'm a dad, I'm a husband, I'm a business owner, I'm an employee, whatever it is. I should be able to handle all these things. No, that was just adding more stress to my workload. But the biggest mistake that most people will make in this type of situation when they're at the point is waiting until they're fully broken before they actually do anything about it. By then, they're in full survival mode. You need to catch it earlier. But the good news is, there is something you can do. And the first step is just to learn the warning signs. Really understand what's happening in your body before you hit that breaking point. Is your chest tight? Are you not breathing properly? Your thoughts just scattered all over the place? Are you snapping at people like I was? These are those early warning signs, and you need to start tracking them. The next step is to name it when you notice it. Literally say to yourself, all right, I'm entering fight or flight right now. The act of naming it activates your prefrontal cortex, which means you'll start to come back online. Step 3 is to interrupt the pattern physically. And so you can't think your way out of this. I mean, you can try, but it's significantly difficult. So you have to interrupt it physically. Do 10 push-ups, jump on the spot for a few minutes, go walk outside for 2 minutes, splash your face with really cold water, jump in an ice bath, like I love to do. Or even just put your hands under cold running water and just feel the water on your hands. It's a physical interruption for a psychological state. Then step 4 is to make the smallest next right choice. Not fix everything, not take care of it all, just the next smallest thing. One task, one conversation, one breath. And you'll know this is working because you'll catch yourself earlier on in the cycle. Instead of going from 0 to broken, you'll notice at 30 or even 40, and you'll interrupt it before it escalates. And just keep in mind not to expect perfection with something like this. You'll still break under pressure sometimes. I mean, it happens. The goal isn't to never break, it's to recognize the patterns earlier and to have the tools to interrupt them in advance. At this stage, you may be thinking like, okay, but what if I don't have time to interrupt the pattern in the moment? Or what if I'm already broken and I don't even realize it? What if the pressure just never stops? If that's you, leave a comment below. I will go out of my way to make a video specifically for you around that. If you've got any other questions like this one that you'd like me to do a future video on, please let me know. I'd always love to do a video to help you as much as possible. And if it's hitting directly home, then that's great. If it's about patterns, if it's about coaching, if it's about breakthrough work or goals or anything like that, whatever it is, just drop it in the comments or even send me a DM or an email. I actually read them all the time and I'd be more than happy to create a video specifically for you. But if today's video is really hitting home for you and you're realizing that you need support, you actually aren't interrupting these patterns or you're hitting that breaking point too much and you want to do some actual work about it, let me know. There's no sales pressure. There's no pitch or anything like that, just a conversation. Sometimes all it takes is a single conversation to get what you need. Other times there's space for more work. Whatever it is, it begins with a conversation and I'd be more than happy to talk to you. And if this video was helpful for you, I'd really appreciate it if you like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification so you're aware of when I release my weekly videos. I answer questions like this every couple of weeks when they come in, and they're real questions from real people. So if you've got a question, let me know. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.